As your name is called, please come up and burn incense to receive your cupcake and have your candle lit by Sensei. Ooh, those are cute, fancy. We will start with the older students, so please come up quickly so we can get everyone up in front before the candles burn away. Dharma School student, Tiger Matsumoto. Are there any other Dharma School students? Okay, we'll go on to the adults. I'll skip one name. Lon Kitagawa. I know you're here. Sachi and Akita. Is Lois Nashi here? Laura Machado? Mark DeLucchi and Michelle DeLucchi. Gotcha. And our last two are Candy Hayashi and Reverend Shibata. So they could light each other's candle, I guess. Oh. Are there any others with birthdays in the month of February? Please don't be shy. Anybody? Oh, okay. Okay, if not, let's sing happy birthday to our dear, oops, wait a minute. Okay, are we ready? Okay, let's sing happy birthday to our dear friends. Thank you to Candy Hayashi from class 1 through 4 for providing the cupcakes today.
Okay, get comfortable. We have a lot of announcements this morning. The 73rd Interfaith Tea will be Thursday, February 19th at 1 p.m. here. Sangha Fellowship and Dharma Friends Taiko today at 11:30 in the gym. Next Sunday, February 8th, is our Nirvana Day service. Please join us at 10 o'clock. SBWA meeting is today at 11:30. The BCA National Council meeting workshops will be held on February 7th, beginning at 1 p.m. Learn about supporting our ministers, Buddhist education and skills development, financial capability, and our future. Details will be posted in the foyer and distributed via email. No registration is required and is open to all that wish to join. On February 15th, please join us from the comfort of your home for the BCA Eitaikyo service. No service will be held at the temple on this day. All are encouraged to join this national event. The office will be closed for President's Day on Monday, February 16th. Temple scholarship applications will be available in March. Home and hospital visitation is on Saturday, April 4th. If you know someone 90 or older that would appreciate a visit, please notify the office by March 15th. Reverend Shibata's book club study class is on February 25th at 6:30 p.m. If you are interested, please contact Reverend Shibata. The book is Buddhism of the Heart by Jeff Wilson, a minister with the Jodo Shinshu Buddhist Temples of Canada. No pre-reading is required. Join for the reflective conversation with Sensei and Sangha members. Buddhist Church of Stockton's spring seminar is on Saturday, March 14th, 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The theme is Responding with Compassion. The Stockton chapter of the Japanese American Citizens League Day of Remembrance is on February 28th at 1 p.m. at the Buddhist Church of Stockton. Cans and plastic bottles are now being collected by YBA. Please leave your recyclables in the white barrels by the mini chapel. Whew, okay, breathe. Also, save the best for last, where there is a free Spam Musubi pop-up event. It's a little fundraiser, so it's today in the mini chapel, sponsored by Sangha Club. Cash donations are gladly accepted to support Sangha Club activities. Are there any other announcements?
I'm excited for Spam Musubi. Everybody, we'll meet over there. The Buddhist Church of Stockton is excited to be taking Sangha members and friends and family to a Stockton Kings basketball game. And this is going to be a fundraiser for the Buddhist Church of Stockton. It will be on Saturday, March 21st at 5 o'clock p.m. at Adventist Arena here in Stockton. The Stockton Kings, if you don't know, are a G League NBA team. They last year won the national championship, and this year are in first place for the Western Conference. So we are very excited. This game will be the second to last game of the season. It is also Women's Empowerment Night, and tickets and including the fundraiser are going to range from about 13 something to about, I believe, 35 something, and that will include a small donation for each ticket to the temple. So their flyers are outside in the foyer and in the mini chapel, and there's small ones that you can take out. There's a QR code that will take you directly to the website to buy your tickets. And I do suggest that everybody, if you're going to buy tickets and you want to all sit together in a group, that one person or at the most two people do get on there and buy the tickets all together. Because the tickets are going to be even all over, the seating is going to be open to the public as well. So you're going to want to buy your tickets to pick your seats together if you can. If you have questions, definitely let me know. And then a shameless plug for YABA. YABA members, we are going to be covering the cost of your tickets. So if you'd like to join YABA, which the tickets will be probably less than the tickets for this Kings game, I mean the YABA membership, then YABA will also cover the cost of your ticket as well. Come see me.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, Linda, we have to specifically go to that website to be able to get the fundraising donation. So please see Linda or, and then we will be having an outreach opportunity, I think somewhere on the concourse. So we'll have a table and we'll be promoting the temple too. So it'll be a wonderful opportunity for people in the community to know us. Also, thank you so much for those of you who participated in digesting the Dharma, kind of informal discussion sessions already that are being led by Casey Ogata-Tran. So just to give you a heads up that because of the special services and no service for this month, we'll be meeting on February 22nd. That'll be our next session. But you're more than able to talk and discuss amongst yourself, but we won't be able to lead the discussion until the 22nd. So please let us know if you have any questions for digesting the Dharma session during the coffee social. Thanks so much.
My announcement is not nearly as exciting, but it has to do with food, okay? So the Federation of Buddhist Women's League is selling panko. And as you know, when we go to a conference at a hotel, the expenses are becoming quite exorbitant. So this is panko in Los Angeles. And what it is this gentleman who makes this makes it for restaurants, but for nonprofits. He packages it and gives it to the nonprofit at no charge to sell. So we can offer this at the great price of $3 a bag. I only have a half a case left. I would love not to take it home. So if you're interested in buying one, please see me. $3 supports the Buddhist Women's League. Thank you.
All right, students will now be dismissed to class. Please observe good etiquette and do not enter the aisle before the row in front of you. Those students who did not offer incense before the service are asked to do so before leaving the hondo. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for your attendance today for our first service and staying for the Shotsuki Monthly Memorial Service for February. And, you know, as I was mentioning today, we get to, and like every first Sunday of the month, we get to celebrate birthdays. And it's something that, of course, we look forward to as we celebrate our birth and the birth of our friends and family members. But even as we celebrate birthdays, we also come together to observe the passing of our loved ones and friends as well. And I think this is especially important for all of the survivors to be able to turn our hearts and minds to our friends and loved ones who have passed away and to really think about the impact of their lives while we view that through the Buddha's teachings. So thank you for coming today. So we'll begin today's service with the chanting of Sambujo. Sambujo is translated as three respectful callings, and you can find this on the inside front cover of our service book. This will be followed by the Hyo Byakumon, which is the dedication or declaration, and of course the reading of the Shotsuki names for the month of February. So please join me for the chanting of Sambujo. have gathered today to observe our Shotsuki monthly memorial service. This is our monthly service to remember friends and loved ones who have passed away in the month of February. They are Nisaburo Aihara, Masako Baba, Ruby Dobana, Chio Eller, Nancy Mormor Frickman, Mary Mutsuko Fuji, Shizuma Fuji, Kiyome Fujimori, Juichi Fujimori, Harue Hali Fukano, Misao Fukuhara, Shizue Fukuyama, Catherine Gotanda, Alan Hajio, Mitsue Hamamoto, Alice Ayako Hattori, Toku Hayashi, Alice Higashi, Henry Makoto Higashi, Motoshi Higashi, Alice Natsuko Hirata, Nancy Toshie Honda, Sumi Horita, Haji Hota, Hatsue Imada, Chieko Ingam, George Inoue, Ryu Kajioka, Tetsuo Kato, Haruo Kimoto, Joe Kazuo Kishi, Frank Kitagawa, Kikue Kitagawa, Shizuma Kubo, Yoshi Kubo, David Toshio Matsuo, Jintaro Matsuo, Morie Marie Mitsuda, Akira Mizuno, Misao Mei Morodomi, Sadao Morodomi, David Jiro Morinaka, Yukio Carlos Murakami, Lillian Nagai, Gonsaku Nakao, Mildred Kimiko Natsuhara, Yasukichi Jack Natsuhara, Toshiko Nishihara, Tokie Nishimoto, Irene Nonaka, Willie Lee Norris, Torao Te Ogawa, Mabel Mitsuru Okubo, Noel Okuhara, Bunosuke Omoto, Ben Shoji Oshima, Helen Oshiro, Saburo Oshida, Sukeichi Oto, Michinobu Saga, Kiyoshi Kei Saiki, Alice Sakata, Frank Sakata, Masayuki Sato, Shizuko Sato, Muda Sekine, Donald Kiyoshi Shinoda, Chizuko Sugano, Roderick Keiichi Sugi, Misako Sumida, Richard Dickey Tahara, Richard Masao Takahashi, Tokijiro Tonki Takeda, Richard Tanaka, Kiyome Tsugawa, Masao Ueda, Fusako Watanabe, Nye Yabumoto, Shigeru Richard Yabumoto, Nancy Sachiko Yagi, Bill Masayoshi Yamada, Yoshio Bob Yamada, Noburo Yamanaka, Ryoichi Yasui, Masaaki Sam Yonemura, Ronald Hiroshi Yonemura, Umeko Yoshida, and Masao Duke Yoshimura. We realize in the cherished memories of those we love and have lost. The impermanence of all the world is revealed. May the fragrance of the incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of life's impermanence. And may the lights that burn brightly on the altar lead our thoughts to Amida Buddha's light of wisdom and compassion. Please join me in Gassho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, so we'll continue the service with the chanting of Sambutsuge, and Sambutsuge can be found starting on page 82, and please come forward to offer incense during the chanting of Sambutsuge. 者日月間に修行へ女開始音ペ有脈樹木東大予言調整無輪小学大音コルジポ開門精進三昧寺へ異徳無量修正慶雨人体千年小仏愚人寺の空語外体無明欲入世尊読む理のしし人徳無量空君古代知恵寿命光明位相神道大仙願が差仏在所可動生じ未不下脱不正常位解任精進尿性三昧知恵以上合成特物不行志願意空空一切大安慶始無物百千億万無量小修行語者供養一切死と小仏不尿愚道検証不逆異尿語者小仏世界不不影無種節道光明師匠変師小国尿性精進一時な量量が差仏国土第一公衆奇妙道場超絶国尿内音理無相がとわいみんとだついさいじぼ大小通称上意図が国慶楽和の古物神妙世が師匠 쇼욕 지보세손 지혜무게 조도시손 지가신교 계로신시 쇼그도그주 가교쇼진 닌주부게 나만다부 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 간이시도그 묘도세이사임 돈모다이신 오죠 나만다브츠. Okay, so we'll continue the service with the singing of the Gatha, Suicho no Uta, verses 1 and 2. And please stand only if it's comfortable for you to do so. And this will be followed by the three treasures on page 2. So Suicho no Uta, page 222. Before we go on to Three Treasures, I'd just like to share the translation on page 223. Though you have gone to the Pure Land, my thoughts are of you. Longing to see your face, it floats before me when I intone the Buddha's name. Beneath the spring flowers, or in a garden of singing insects, on an autumn night, taking your hand, I rejoice in Oya-sama's compassion as I long for you. Namandavas, namandavas. So please join me now for the recitation of Three Treasures on page 2. Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony and a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandavats, namandavats, namandavats. You may be seated. So at this time, I'd like to share my Dharma message for today's gathering. And as we gather today for February Shotsuki monthly memorial service, we come together with our hearts that hold many different emotions: gratitude, remembrance, longing, and even grief. Each name that we recite represents a life that touched ours in ways both seen and unseen. And as always, this service gently reminds us that while time continues to move forward, as I was mentioning in my earlier message, love and memory do not simply disappear. So February is also the month in which many Buddhist traditions observe Nirvana Day, the day that marks the Buddha's passing into final nirvana. For that reason, February carries a particular resonance, I think. It invites us to reflect not only our personal losses, but also how the Buddhist path itself was shaped by grief and impermanence and deep compassion of the Buddha. So when we hear the word nirvana, we often think of peace and awakening or liberation from suffering. But Nirvana Day is also very simply the day the Buddha died. It is the day his physical presence in this world came to an end. And just like the losses we remember today, his passing was not an abstract thing or a symbol to those who loved him. It was deeply human. According to the Buddhist teachings, when the Buddha became ill, he knew that his life was coming to a close, and his disciples gathered around him. Some were calm, some were reflective, but many were overcome with grief and sadness. The writings describe disciples openly weeping, collapsing in sorrow, lamenting that their teacher who had guided them for decades was about to be gone. These were monks and followers who had heard the Dharma or the Buddha's teachings directly from the Buddha himself, and still they grieved very deeply. This is important for us to remember as we gather today. The Buddha did not scold them for their sorrow. He did not tell them that grief was a failure of faith. Instead, his passing affirmed a truth that he taught all along to each and every one of them. To love is to be vulnerable to loss. Awakening does not mean that we stop feeling. It means that we learn to meet our feelings with wisdom and gentle compassion. In this way, Nirvana Day mirrors our own experiences today. When we lose someone dear to us, whether it's a spouse, a parent, a sibling, or dear friend, we know intellectually that impermanence is a truth of life. But knowing this does not erase the ache of absence and longing. Even when we understand that death is natural, grief still arises in our hearts. And that grief itself is an expression of deep connection. As the Buddha lay near death, he offered his disciples a final teaching. Not dramatic revelations or things that he knew would shake the earth. It just were reminders of what truly mattered. One of his most well-known final messages was to remember that all conditioned things are impermanent. So strive on with diligence with the teachings that I left you. So in other words, nothing that is born escapes change. Nothing we love can remain exactly as it is. And because of this truth, how we live, how we care for one another, and how we awaken to each moment matters deeply. He also reminded his disciples that they should not cling to him as a person. The Buddha told them that after his passing, the Dharma would be the teacher. What he left behind was not a body to hold on to, but a path to walk together, a path of wisdom and compassion, and awakening that can continue long after his death. This understanding deeply resonated with our founder, Shinran Shonin, or Venerable Shinran, who lived centuries after the Buddha and never met him in person. And yet Shinran expressed a profound sense of being guided and embraced by the Buddha's wisdom. And he wrote, "Though I am without wisdom and my heart is full of blind passions, the light of Amida Buddha's compassion never abandons me." So Shinran's words speak directly to moments like this. He understood that the historical Buddha was born to be able to teach about Amida Buddha's deep compassion. So these moments when grief remind us of our own vulnerability, we may feel lost and unsure and overwhelmed by sorrow. But Shinran assures us, maybe reassures us, that we are not required to be strong or composed or enlightened in order to be held by the Buddha Dharma. Just as the Buddha did not abandon his grieving disciples, Amida Buddha does not abandon us in our pain. So this too feels very close to what we experience in these memorial services. The people we remember today are no longer physically present. We cannot hear their voices or see their faces in the same way. And yet what they have left us does not disappear with them. Their teachings may not have been spoken from a pulpit like this, but they were expressed through how they lived, through their patience, maybe their humor, their resilience, their care for their family, and their quiet acts of kindness. Just as the Buddha's disciples had to learn how to live without his physical presence, we also learn day by day, maybe even moment to moment, how to live with the absence of those we love. Grief does not mean forgetting. It means learning a new relationship with someone who now lives in memory, influence, and legacy rather than their physical form. So Renyo Shonin, our 8th head priest of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, later reminded the Sangha that the teachings are not distant or abstract, but meant to be heard in the midst of everyday life. And that's why he wrote so many of his letters. He wrote that the Nembutsu is spoken by people burdened with sorrow and joy alike. In other words, we come just as we are, carrying loss, carrying gratitude, and even carrying longing, as it is precisely here that the Dharma meets us each and every day. In Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, we speak of how the Dharma comes to us through our lived experiences. Loss becomes one of the most powerful teachers we encounter, and I've shared multiple times how my mother's own death has really been a wonderful teacher for me as well. Loss, it also humbles us, it softens us, it reminds us of what truly matters. When someone we love dies, the illusion of permanence falls away, and we are brought face to face with the preciousness of each moment that we live after. Nirvana Day teaches us again that even the Buddha, fully awakened entered into death, and yet his passing was not an ending in the way we think of endings. It is transformation. The Dharma spread beyond his lifetime. Communities formed well after him, and teachings were preserved after his passing, and compassion continued to flow through countless